Midway through the dual meet between 6th-ranked Florida and number 8 Alabama. And, of course, the Gators and Crimson Tide have quite a history. 2 years ago here in the O'Connell Center was Florida getting the victory. Amanda Castillo and Brianne King helping set the pace for the Gators as they beat Alabama. But last year in Tuscaloosa, the Crimson Tide edged the Gators by just 1/10 of a point. And just to prove how closely matched they are, they went on to SECs a few weeks later and tied for second with the exact same score. Now we go to Florida on the beam, and here's Courtney Gladys.
She's been great for this Gator team. You know, she just earned a scholarship this year, and she is continuing to add events as the year goes on. This is she had added balance beam at the Arkansas meet. Handspring, layout, step out. Because of injuries, they've just had to really change up their lineup and add in some people that weren't planning on competing on certain events. You see a nice side aerial. Straddle jumps. And this is such a crucial position, the leadoff person for balance beam, the pressure, because they want the strongest person, most consistent up at the front so that it will feed into the other girls that are following. So really important position. Inner dismount, round off 1.5 twist, great finish.
Courtney Gladys for Florida.
Taking a look at her series, 2 handsprings, layout, step out. And a beautiful 1.5 twist dismount, very difficult with that blind landing.
9.825 for Gladys. You know, they're talking baseball about how hitting can be contagious. In gymnastics, good beam routines or bad can be contagious as well. Now to the floor, Alabama. Here's Ricki Lebegern.
She scored a career best 9.925 against their first meet against Auburn this year. As we said, she's competed in every event so far this year. First tumbling pass, triple twist. She steps out of bounds.
That'll cost her at least 1/10.
See a front full, front layout. Last week against LSU, she didn't score her best on floor, but she has been very consistent all year for this Alabama team. Alabama always known for great floor routines. This year's no different. Olympic handspring, pike double back. Florida fans are always so appreciative of great gymnastics, and it's really, I think, awesome for teams to come in like Alabama and compete with this Florida crowd. It's a great start for Alabama. Taking a look at her second tumbling pass, front full, front layout, and a great finish on that landing.
And a 9.675. Remember, she stepped out on that first path, so that certainly hurt her. Now Melanie Sinclair with a unique mount onto the beam.
I love that front flip onto the side. A little risky. A lot of the girls will start their balance beam with a very simple mount. And I love, that's my favorite skill on the beam. Full twisting back handspring. She does it so well. She's ranked 24th nationally on this event. Gainer into a layout step out. Looking very confident. She has been working a pike double dismount on this event, hasn't been very successful with it, so they've watered down a little bit, just trying to up the scores. Florida having a lot of trouble on the balance beam this year. Let's see how she does on this dismount.
Long pause.
You see a double twist, big hop on the end, but very solid. Beautiful gainer back handspring, layout, step out, and she's right on. And again, watering down to that double twist, but important because it's giving her a lot more confidence on this event.
And a 9.850, so a couple of solid scores to start the rotation for Florida. We'll stay with the Gators. And here's our third look at Mahlich.
She turned in a collegiate best of a 9.875 on beam at Michigan State last week. Front aerial. Slight little balance check after that. Gearing up for her series. Handspring, layout, step out. Full turn, which is a requirement.
How important is the tempo of a beam routine?
It's very important because it can pretty much just show the judges the confidence that you have in that routine. So if you hesitate, if you have bobbles, it's going to reflect in the score. Cat leap into a side aerial. And again, a slight little balance check there. Really is not designed to turn out to the side, but she kind of goes with it. I remember doing that a few times myself.
Couple years ago.
Dismount, double twist. Great landing on that double twist. Nice height. And saving that 10th on the landing.
9.80 for Elizabeth Mahlich. Now we'll go back to floor. Here is Ashley Priess.
And she's an outstanding gymnast for Alabama. She was the 2006 U.S. on the U.S. World Cup team. A 7-year member of the U.S. national team, the senior international elite. And here she is starting with a tuck double back. Great height. She made her all-around debut against LSU. Has really worked her way into the lineup in all events. See a lot of concentration on the second pass. Ground off, 1.5 twist, front layout. Her dance style, very unique.
You could tell this is a music that would play well with a home crowd. I'm sure they really get into it at Coleman Coliseum when she performs there.
Well, in Alabama, they're averaging about 10,000 people. So coming and, of course, being on the road is challenging, and not having their home crowds is definitely a disadvantage for this Alabama team. Nice double twist. Now, her sister Courtney was a former Alabama gymnast, and she also competed with Alabama teammate Cassie Priess on that U.S. World Cup team. Lots of experience in the national and international competitions. Taking a breather for that last pass. On a back handspring, nice high pike double back. A little bit short on the landing. Taking a look at that first pass, tuck double back.
And a solid 9.80 for Alabama's Ashley Priess. Now Maranda Smith, relatively new to the beam in the Gator lineup.
And she was put into the lineup against LSU, training the event for a week.
A week.
And she has done extremely well. Here she is getting ready for her series. One arm back handspring, layout, step out. Again, we talked about the Gators having some injuries this year. They're missing their leadoff on beam, Rebecca Zeiser, who's out for the season with a broken foot. Nice back tuck straddle down. In the media guide, they list all the girls and their routines, and she wasn't even listed on this event. So it shows you the surprise of her coming in on this event, doing a great job.
And you have to admire someone who will add an event, especially a treacherous one like this, to help out the team because of injury problems.
Exactly. And here's her dismount. 1.5 twist, one little step on the end. Nice clean dismount. Again, fighting. We got to fight for those 10s.
You know, Rhonda Fain has to like that. Maranda Smith stepping in there and scoring a 9.775. Now let's go to floor, and this should be a treat. Morgan Dennis, 2 years ago, won the NCAA championship on floor.
She was only the 6th Alabama gymnast to win the NCAA title as a freshman. She is awesome. She's an All-American, and she is great to watch on this event. Look at this power. Nice high double layout. You know, when you see double layouts, they kind of whip, purse floats, and you just don't see that too often. It's beautiful.
power to get so high off the floor allows her to do that flip much more gradually than most competitors.
Not only was she All-American, but she was also the SEC champion and the regional champion. She's about won it all. Nice high second tumbling pass. A lot of this time before the last tumbling pass, even though they're dancing, they're breathing, they're resting, they're getting ready for that last big tumbling pass. Of course, the gymnasts train very intense for the endurance on this floor. Lots of strength training, lots of spinning classes, and just trying to prepare themselves for the endurance it takes to do this event. Nice high tuck double back. She's not looking tired at all. Great job.
Oh, a sensational routine from Alabama's Morgan Dennis, showing you that All-American form.
And you can definitely see why. Look at the height on these tumbling passes. Double layout, and she is right on.
And that somehow they took a little bit away. I don't know where they found it, but 9.925. Now we go over to balance beam, and just a tremendous competitor in this event, Hartung.
She's one of my favorites to watch on this event. Her flexibility is just beautiful, and it's unique. It's different than some of the other ones. You see there performing a Shushanova, which is normally performed on the floor. She does it so well.
Corey is 5'4", but she looks 6'3" on the beam compared to other gymnasts. And the length of a gymnast can really be artistically just tremendous on this event particularly.
And with that flexibility, everything looks just so beautiful. You see that flexibility showing her scale. Of course, she's a 3-time All-American on this event. Nice front aerial, moving right into a back handspring straddle down. Again, you talked about the rhythm. She's flowing so well from one thing to the next, and those connections are very important. If they don't connect the skills, they will get a deduction. Gator fans loving that skill there.
And you've said before, that full turn's a lot harder than it looks.
It is. It's like the worst skill I have to do in a competition. It's so scary. It's not hard, but you know you have such a risk of falling. And she finishes with a 2.5 twist. She nails it.
Well, we go from one All-American to another.
There's that switch leap into Shushanova, back hip circle around the beam. Again, that part you normally see on the bar, so she's kind of mixing a little from both. And this beautiful 2.5 twist landing, very difficult to land, and she does it perfect.
Well, we've seen some 10-worthy routines this evening, but none that the judges have scored that high, but a 9.95 for Hartung.